It's the Joseph Bristol Show.
Welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. Alright, so on today's episode, I want to talk about something that is a little, I guess it's kind of hard to pinpoint or describe in a sense, but what I want to talk about is a person's potential. So, yeah, a person's potential, and not the potential for a relationship, but the potential within a person, right? So what is potential, right? This is basically the idea of what someone could be. So I was thinking the other day about potential for a while, but then I was talking to my cousin, and he basically pointed out to me that I objectify well, he was saying I objectify women, but what I had to explain to him was I objectify people in general. I just see and view everyone as an object, as, basically as an object, something to be used. And I think that that's how, I think that's how all of us think about the world. We may not say it and really understand it, but all of us think of people as objects because, when you think about your friendships and you think about why are you this person's friend, when you really sit down and simplify it, some people are your friends because they entertain you. So they are clearly, their purpose is entertainment. Other than that, they have no purpose to you other than the fact that they entertain you. They provide you with some sense of joy and happiness and relief of the daily stresses and what. So in that sense, when I was thinking about how I think of people as objects, I started to think to myself, are people objects? Are people their social status in life? Or are they the thing that they provide to you? Are they that? Or are people their potential? What they could be to you? What they could potentially offer you? Is that what people are? Right? Because I think about that saying, it's not where he's at, it's where he wants to be, right? Where he's going. So a lot of women, they look at that. And what I end up happening to a lot of people is they will allow a person's potential to blind them to the red flags of the person. So you're saying to yourself, oh man, this person could be a great father, a great lover, a great, husband or wife. They could be great to me, right? It would be great being in a relationship with them, right? So you're seeing the potential of what that could be. But the question is, are they that? No, they're not, right? Because if they were that, then it wouldn't be potential. See what I'm saying? They would be that thing, right? So then I started to think to myself, well, what is that? Is that a good thing then? Is potential actually a good thing? So when you look at somebody and you're saying, this person could be this thing. They could be this great basketball player, this great artist. Oh man, you could be the world's greatest writer if you just did blah, 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 blah. Are we saying to that person that they are not anything because they're not the potential that they could be, right? Or is that some form of motivation that's us trying to push them to what we believe is their greatness, right? What we believe on the outside looking, we're outside looking at them and we're saying to ourselves, hey man, I see what you could be. You might not see it, but I see it. And you just have to do this thing. But then with potential, it kind of brings me into the idea that you are your own worst enemy, right? So sometimes you see the potential within yourself. You lay down in your bed at night and you're saying to yourself, man, I'm a pretty good artist. I draw pretty good. And ant bit me on my hand and I've been scratching my finger. I'm a pretty good artist, I could draw really good, or I'm such a sweet girl, I know how to cook, I clean, I do all these things for these guys, and I like them, but they don't ever like me in the way I like them. You're saying to yourself, I could be this thing. I could be what he wants me to be. I could be what she wants me to be. I could be what that person needs, right? But they don't see that in me. They don't see... In that sense, it's not even your potential because you're thinking in your mind you're already this thing for them, right? But they don't see you as that thing for them because in what they're seeing you as is something completely different. But go back into the potential thing. if you are not living up to what you believe you could do, and you think that you have more to offer, you have more potential, then really what you're suffering from is you are holding yourself back. You are your own worst enemy, right? So people will say, I'm unsuccessful because, my mom didn't do this, or my dad didn't do that, or my boyfriend held me down, my kids, and I had 4 kids and I couldn't do blah blah blah. But really, you are your own worst enemy. You've set the limits on what you can and can't do. You put that on yourself, those limitations, right? If you took that away, if you stopped looking at what you can't do and only focused on what you can do, then you would do that, whatever you can do. And what you can do would push you into being the thing that you believe you could be. It would push you into your potential. And then thinking about it, it kind of goes into, right? So people will believe that they know their life's purpose. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do in my life. I could be a great basketball player, right? So let's say your kid plays basketball, boom, just for fun. He's just playing it on the side, and he's pretty good. And you see he's pretty good, and he has no formal training, none of that. And you're saying to yourself, yo, man, you were pretty good. If you just had some training, you got the potential to, go to the NBA. Hey, let me help you. Let me train you. And the kid is like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to draw. And you're looking at their drawings, and you're like, yo, your drawings are, your drawings are pretty crappy. I don't think you should do that. You're pretty good at basketball. Why not just focus on that? So you're seeing that their potential in basketball is great. What you're not seeing is that your life purpose isn't necessarily your potential. Your life purpose isn't necessarily what you're good at. So your life purpose will change as time goes on. Everything changes. This is the natural part of being alive. Everything changes. The universe is constantly changing. Planets are rotating and spinning and knocking off matter and pushing out rocks, and everything is just constantly changing. That's how the universe works. So people are no different. We as people are constantly changing. We change our minds, we change our attitudes, we change our hearts. The difference is we want to choose something and stick to it. So it kind of goes into the idea of monogamy, that you pick a partner and that's it. You stick with that partner for the rest of your life. You're not allowed to wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do this with you anymore. Well, the other person's going to say, well, why? I don't know. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. It's really nothing you did. I just genuinely don't feel like doing this thing anymore. That would be, we would all frown on that. Oh, that's not cool. We would all frown on that because you're wishy-washy, you're flip-flopper, all these sayings that we have for people being, changing their mind, right? So change is a constant thing. But then it got into the idea that I was thinking about when it comes to potential, because let's go back to our example. If this kid is really good at basketball, but he likes to draw and he's not good at drawing, and you're trying to push basketball on him, are you being fair to that person? So just because you see that they have potential for greatness in this thing, but they don't want to do that thing, is it fair to keep pushing them into this thing that you believe is potentially great for them, although they don't want to do that, right? That becomes the question, because in your mind, you're saying, I see the greatness that could come from this. You might not see it because you're in the mix, but I see it. Let me help you. But is it a help that you're pushing them into something that they don't want, right? We have to ask ourselves that, because that is what potential is. I see you could be this thing. The question is, do you want to be that thing? And if you do, then wouldn't you be the thing that you want to be? Right? Or at least be working towards it. If not, then maybe you actually don't want to be that thing. And you're only just saying that because I have come along and I've pointed something out to you. And so you changed your mind in that sense to do the thing that I'm saying would potentially be great for you. Like I said, this is a subject that's it doesn't have a clear cut answer. It's more of a lot of questions that we have to ask ourselves. And the reason why I'm making the potential video is not just for adults and relationships and jobs and, finding your life's purpose, but for our children. A lot of times we look at our kids and we see something in them and we're saying this kid has potential to be this thing, right? And we may want to push them towards that thing, but the question becomes, are you being fair to the kid if he decides, I don't want to do that, I want to do this, but you're saying, well, don't worry about that. That ain't going to make you no money. That ain't going to do nothing for your future. Focus on this. You are good at this. Is that fear? So then it kind of gets into understanding your limitations, right? So someone will want to do something. Let's say you got a one-legged kid and, he's like, yo, I want to run track and field. And you're saying to yourself, well, you can't run track and field. You only have one leg. You have a prosthetic leg. I don't think you should do that. How about we focus on this other thing? But the kid is like, yo, listen, you're putting this limitation on me, but I want to do this thing. I want to run track and field. So because you don't see the potential that they may have in track and field, because you're looking at a physical limitation, you're looking at something that would limit them in their ability to do the thing that they're saying they want to do, you are taking away from them their innate potential. In their heart, in their mind, they're saying, I have the ability to do this thing. That in and of itself is potential, right? Because in order for potential to grow into to grow into success, to grow into it being a tangible product, potential needs opportunity. So the person needs the opportunity to show and to grow into their field. And they need time. They need time because they have to develop the skills and become a master in that thing that they are potentially good at, or, could potentially be masters of, right? So it goes into the idea that just because you see it in someone, if they don't see it in themselves, then it does them no good. They're never going to live up to that because they don't see it in themselves. Like a woman who looks at a man and says, yo, this could be a great man. This could be a good man. This man could be amazing if he only did X, Y, and Z. And you're telling him this. You're constantly on him. Every day you see him, hey, babe, did you work on, your music? Did you record a new song? Did you put it out? Boom, boom, boom. You just pushing this guy. But, he's sitting down, nah, I ain't do nothing. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. He don't see what you see. But he has to see it. Because if a person doesn't see their own potential, they'll never live up to that. So you motivating them, you inspiring them, you pushing them, you constantly reminding them, that is a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. You should never stop doing that. That's something that you should keep on doing because that is your benefit. That kind of goes back into the making people objects, but that is your benefit. That is your purpose in the person's life. You provide motivation and inspiration and ideas and drive. And when they're feeling down and depressed, it's you that comes up and uplifts them. And you are their muse, right? So with that being said, I really just made this, like I said, as more of a thinking kind of exercise kind of thing, because this isn't potential isn't something that is tangible. It's not really something that can be touched. But the purpose of this video is to leave here thinking to yourself, what is my potential? What can I do? What is my purpose here on this planet? And again, your purpose may change. Right now, you're a mom or you're a dad, and your purpose is to teach your children how to think about life and how to process and understand information and experiences that happens to them. That's your purpose. And once they grow up and they move out of the house and they're doing their own thing, now your purpose changes, right? So now you're back to living for yourself and figuring out, what do I want to do? How can I change the world? How can I make an impact, right? But when you see, so mainly the purpose of this is when you see potential in other people, when you meet other people and you see something in them, you see this spark, this light, this this thing that they could be good at, that they could be great at. It's good to motivate them, to inspire them to live up to the potential that you see in them. But they have to see it in themselves. Don't let that blind you to their red flags, because sometimes their red flags are the limitations that stop them from being that thing that they could be, right? So you have a man, you're looking at him, this could be a great man, wonderful man, but he cheats and he lies and, he steals. Those are limitations that are stopping him from living up to the potential of being a great man. So he himself has to, one, see his potential, two, see his red flags, so that he can then get rid of that hindrance, so he can be what it is that you see him to be and what others may see him to be. So like I said, it's more of that. This is more of a thinking exercise video, understanding our potential, the potential of others, and really coming to a grips of, just because someone has the potential to be something doesn't mean that they should be that thing, right? So just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's something to think about. So I just wanted to make this video on potential and what is it and living up to it. And I hope that it was educational in the sense that we all stop, self-reflect, and see what is our potential, what is our greatness, what can we be greater at, and how can we help others to live up to their potential and live up to being a great within their own limitations and ranks. So thanks for watching another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. Let's all remember, we all out here trying to do the same thing. Just be happy and survive. Stay blessed.
Leave a comment below.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe.